So today I'll introduce Jacob spontaneously, but through Meera and Riti, both of them will also add on to the introduction. So uh, I just got to know Jacob when I was traveling in Bhopal with Preeti, and she started to tell me some stories of her visit in Tiruvannamalai, where she met Jacob on the train, and then she told me this one, that one, and I said, okay, let's connect with him, let's have a synergy with him. So Meera, keep your video on. So whenever it is on, we'll spotlight you. Yeah. So then that's how we connected. And then I said, let's have a synergy. We had some talk. Then recently, I think few days back again, I connected, and then I got more connected. And again, today we exchanged, yesterday we exchanged some notes. Today we exchanged. So I'm really excited to hear from you, Jacob. And what they told me, and of course, not they told me, I could feel it in the first few minutes also, that you are truly simple, as they said, simple to the core, down to earth, humble, and I think you live with very, very few clothes, which resembles Guruji's way of living actually, and many of us have incorporated that. Like Guruji's one famous thing is live life king size. This is one book he's written, and I just love that book. It's one of his favorite and my favorite. Live life king size on an empty wallet.
Wow. That's it. That's it.
So empty wallet, and he says that everything is, God's will, and everything is his credit. And he made many of us teachers write down one note in the book, and it says that you have all received the Guru's credit card. So speak on Guru's credit card, and we all had to write down our note on Guru's credit card. That's part of the book. So so many things, and when I interacted with you, these all the notes which we shared in the last couple of yesterday and today also 3-4 times we have said. So it's so interesting that so much of us, I don't know whether I am speaking or you are speaking. It feels like we both are speaking. So yeah, it is just too beautiful, and I'm sure all of us who are present here today will get a lot of insights to what Guruji has been saying, and then we have been talking about in the Design Your Life series. We have done this. We've done some joy shops. Instead of workshops, we call it joy shops, because from Nitya Shanti ji, we got this terminology rather.
Wow.
So because we used to call, instead of homework, we used to call home play. So in extension to that, instead of workshops, we call it joy shops. Taken from Nitya Shanti. So this we have these joy shops done on autobiography of a yogi, then by Himalayan masters, by Swami Rama. And now tomorrow I'm having this, if you have read this book called Importance of Living by Lin Yun Ta. Have you heard of this?
No.
Very interesting book, super duper. You'll just love it, I know. Importance of Living by Lin Yu Tang, recommended by Guruji only for us to read. Okay. It was one of his favorite, and the Live Life King Size on an Empty Wallet starts off with a quote from this book.
Whoa.
So it's all the same. So I just that's my little introduction to you. I think we resonate on the same page. We'll hear from you after we hear a few lines from Meera and Preeti. Yeah.
Sure.
When I meet Jacob, whenever I'm talking to Jacob, I always talk about Manoj. Yes, Jacob.
Yeah.
Manoj say when I meet him, I talk
without seeing him, without knowing him, I still know him. That's how it is.
So the whole journey, we were there and we were just talking about you, Manoj, and this SSY. And really, that journey was totally satsang. How Manoj always keeps on telling us, always there is a mini satsang. And that journey was fully like whole satsang, because Jacob has, I think, tremendous knowledge. And the knowledge, it's not knowledge. I could feel it in you.
Comes from here. My Gurudev. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and really, I mean, it was just by God's grace, Guruji's grace, that in train we met, and I was totally unknown to that place, and you helped me a lot. That later on, I felt that I was not new at all, because I was not knowing. I was just knowing the English, and the people there, they don't use English at all. I mean, some people, they are very. So I
All
was
time.
like, how to come, how to now converse with them? How to, I mean, tell them that what exactly I want? And then I came to know sometimes they purposely do this, to just, and Topi Amma, when you showed me that video, ki,
Yes, I
she's
have
a
a photograph.
Avadhuta.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a Avadhuta. And I said, my God, Mandir ke bahar I saw her and I got some different vibes. And later on, I came to know that she's a Avadhuta.
Yes, my journey
Yeah,
with
Mira.
Jacob sir has been amazing. Open eyes meditation we have done for 4 hours with him. It was mind blowing, and he's very particular what we speak, how we speak. Today we'll get all these jewels from him. Just open, be ready, don't even blink. Whatever Jacob sir says, you cannot even blink. I mean, he's the depth of knowledge. So we'll enjoy this beautiful journey throughout this whole 1.5, 2 hours with you. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful.
An inner transformation coach and shifting into awareness coach who helps guide people into their ideal life and most authentic self. He helps people with his intuitive listening skills and helps others become aware of deep subconscious behaviors, beliefs, inner shadows, and conditioning that prevent one from fully evolving. His endeavors are to bring clarity to awareness when there is a confusion and inner turmoils. This facilitating the inner journey and soul evolution. He has been in the inner light journey for close to 25 years, from which he consistently shares his life experiences that validates the seeker's own experiences and keeps them motivated. One major area of work that he has involved in is traveling, living with mystics and enlightened beings, and bringing out the rare wisdom in very simple, relatable terms to those who are keen on connecting with them and realizing deeper insights and truth of life's journey. He strongly promotes oneness and non-duality. His simplifies all sacred scriptures of any faith and demonstrates practical approach to teaching and the scriptures, which he terms as a practical spirituality. He regularly conducts live sessions on his online platform for spiritual seekers and also offers one-on-one personal consultation to those who have eventually testified their transformation stories. Divine love with light. So that is the formal introduction.
Absolutely. So, Jacob, you can start with your journey, however you came around, and then we go into question and answers as soon as you finish your personal introduction, how you came to spirituality, from where, what, and all. We'll hear from you. Yeah.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you for this privilege. I'm honored to be here amongst all of you, all the divine beings here, beautiful beings. I thank Preeti for being the medium to get me here through Manoj again into this beautiful team of beautiful souls. So first of all, before I begin, I would like to honor and give my respects and gratitude to my own master, all the masters, including your master, which is no different than our masters. They're all one on that plane. So all the Guru Mandala, everybody who's involved here, because it is with their grace that even I can speak here something. Otherwise, what are we? And with all this gratitude to all the participants who are here, I would just like to, I was just noticing, I was just observing a beautiful quote from Rishi Prabhakar ji, Guruji, which where he says, when nothing belongs to you, everything is yours.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ultimatum. That is the platform that I've been always working on. in the diversity, I'm trying to find the oneness, highlight the oneness. So that can be highlighted so beautifully, including, when we began this talk, only Manoj said, sing a song. And all I could sing was, Koi to hai jo nizam-e hasti chala raha hai, jo dikhai bhi na de, fir bhi nazar aa raha hai, wahi khuda hai. Beautiful Sufi song. So when we say this, there are Muslims and Hindus and all that, there's nothing on that sort. I relate that very much to Guruji, Rishi Prabhakar ji, when he says, when nothing belongs to you, everything is yours. So we are all here to that ultimatum to unwind our journey of all the conditionings and beliefs and so many do's and don'ts that we have gathered from the society, right from our birth, we pick up things from everywhere. And we are a bundle of all that, bundle of all those ideas and conditionings and beliefs and what all, which we are not that, but we believe we are that. So I believe any path we follow, any master we follow, any religion we follow, the journey is unwinding that, all the conditionings that we have done, unconditioning it. And finally, when all is gone, nothing remains. So that is what Rishi Prabhakar ji says, when nothing belongs to you, everything, all our belonging, all our possessions, he mentioned in that, nothing belongs to you, you cannot possess anything here. So one by one, when everything goes away, everything is yours. So spirituality is very simple, but we complicate it. I always say this. Spirituality is very, very, very simple. And I'm so glad to hear, see these lines from Guruji, which is so simple and which I relate to practical spirituality. So today what I'm going to talk is all about practical spirituality. It's not about what we hear, what we have read, what we have seen, heard, and all that, because I believe those are again conditioned to our stuff. So when we begin connecting to ourself, abiding in ourself, and then we see life, it's much different. It's from that nothingness. So that's what my journey took me to Tiruvannamalai also, where I met Preeti there. And I think that's where I found Ramana Maharishi's every teaching and that place, booming with that nothingness. That place, I must tell you, must all go there, because you will witness what is that nothingness which Guruji is also talking about when everything goes out. And then, as Preeti also said, she had that profound experience. And she told me, when she came back, for days she was in silence. But, then she was getting scared. Oh, am I losing touch? Am I losing everything? That's the ego self that takes over. So I was telling that's the mind trying to take you back. And it happened. So she was a little jittered. And she said, no, I have to pull back. And then she went a little into that, the mind. And then she slowly lost that stillness. So today's topic also, I'm going to relate with that. Since Manoj asked me just to share my journey, briefly I will talk, because I don't like anyhow talking about my past, because there is nothing there. When everything is just shelved out and burnt out. So I believe there's nothing. When I look into my past, there is nothing that I regret. There is nothing that I am worried about, or nothing I have guilt about, nothing. It's almost all gone. So I don't like looking back, but still, just for information, I can say this, including my name, I've changed it to Jake Light. I have not kept any identity.
In fact, that was my first question. What's about Jacob and what's about Jake Light and what's about Christian and what about, that was my first question.
Exactly.
But anyway, you can start. And that was
exactly. So that's with the reason actually. There is nothing in a name actually, if you see that. But it is for my own understanding, because we live by name. Name has so much of
karma. Yeah.
With the name, you have something called this identity, which is so hard to break. We have our own individuality, our own personality, which is very hard to break. And I'm telling you, until that is gone, there is no real spirituality.
I just, Jacob, so much resonates that I just told Swati, the one who handles all this back end and everything, all these websites, social, everything she handles. So I was just telling her that Guruji had given me this name, Amrut Vivek. So I said, now it's high. Yeah. So I said, high time. The people call Manoj Lekhi. I said, I am tired of you. Start changing my name. So they are resisting. No. You have anyone with this. I said, okay, you start writing in brackets. Then slowly we'll put that in front and we'll put Manoj Lekhi in brackets. And then we'll just remove that Manoj Lekhi. Exactly. So much like Jacob and Jake Light.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess you called yourself light because of light energy. The whole and everything is energy. So light, is the form of that, right?
Because light has no identity.
Right.
It is just like the vibhuti that we use everywhere. Vibhuti is used because it has lost all its identity. It's burnt in the fire. So vibhuti is used, sacred ash is used everywhere because it has no identity. You just take it in your hand and you make any sankalp, it turns into that. You put into a wish, your prayer, and the prayer gets into that, the sankalp gets into that. So anything can be manifested out of that nothingness. So light is that kind of a property. It's that kind of an element. So coming back, I was born in a Roman Catholic family and I've been very identified with all the Christianity. I fell in love with Jesus Christ, been his diehard fan from childhood. But as I told Manoj also, I had a lot of questions in my childhood that I always used to ask my father, the priests, my teachers, the society, the Christian community, many things about like why is a dog that is sitting near that gutter full of that disease and suffering so much, and why is this dog that is sitting in a Mercedes car and enjoying sitting on the lap and going? Nobody could answer that. I said, why is a child being born blind, and why is another child born with a silver spoon? Nobody could answer that. So this is coming to your question only, Manoj, which you asked there, how, because Christians believe only in one lifetime.
Right.
That was my question. If there is one lifetime.
Right. So I had asked Jacob this question that, Christianity believes in one lifetime.
Yes.
And, the other scriptures believe, all over India is like, जन्मों जन्मों का है, अगले जन्म में देख लेंगे, अगले जन्म में देख लेंगे. It's got the pros and the cons, but we'll see that later.
But let me tell you,
Yeah.
अगले जन्म में कर लेंगे, even if it is there in Hinduism and all this, चलो आराम से कर लेंगे. But in Christianity, still knowing that there is one lifetime, there is no seriousness.
Yeah.
We have just one lifetime. Let me finish it. No, that is not there. It is like either you go to heaven or to hell. That's
Right.
So coming to that point only, I was telling, I was asking all the people in my childhood and nobody gave me that answer. So that made me very suspicious of this whole doctrines and dogmas of religion. So I did not believe, but I believed in that person, Jesus Christ, because he had something, some charm in him, some beauty in him, some unconditional love kind of a substance in him. So I always followed him. And then in my adulthood, when I started, one day I just started chanting the Gayatri mantra. I don't know from where it came. It started just coming and I was chanting it day and night. And I didn't know what is this also exactly. Well, as I moved on in my spiritual journey with all my curiosity and trying to study mantras and all those and all, slowly I began, this is 25 years back. So slowly I came in touch with Hinduism and the philosophy. I started reading, getting interested in Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, because there's something beautiful everywhere. Even when, like you said, Manoj, when Azan is heard in the morning, they shout Allah's name, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
People get irritated, but I used to get goosebumps.
Even you get it, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I was sharing with them that has so much similarity because I said, in my previous lives, I resonate very much with Jesus same way because I studied 1 year in a convent. I would not say I studied. I was there 1 year in a convent because it was the first standard and second standard, 2 years. Okay. So, but yet that had a profound impact because every Saturday we would see these Jesus movies, but movies at that time was those projectors with the comic book behind and they would recite. So I just love. And Guruji, like he had this, one of the projects he took up as Global Religious Harmony, where we would invite, and I myself conducted a few, participated. We would call all the religion people in one platform and then allow them to speak. And then, as you said, that integrate everyone. And that will be part of today's thing that I will be asking you. Or rather, we can start that, how do you integrate Christianity is, and like I told you, Islam, I was definitely in one of the lives, a Muslim, because whenever I hear the azans, something happens. If it is sung well, okay. If it is just shouted and all, I don't connect with it. But some of them in Guruji's introductions of 1 or 2 cassettes, I put the azan also.
Wow.
Beautiful, like this as an introduction music, and then we give the commentary on Guruji. So he would always have this global religious harmony projects where we'll invite. So let's start off with that in terms of Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, how would you integrate or whatever you want to
Yes,
share?
I can relate, and I can I have a deep conviction about it. See, this journey that I had was only questions. Nobody was answering it. So I started seeking it myself into Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Islam, and everywhere. And I found doctrines were different, the teachings were different, but the element was the same, the experience was the same. Like, you know, that joy, that blissfulness, that happiness, connectivity, and seeing purity in that was there. But still, the logic mind could not connect to this. How is this possible? You know, everybody talks about diversity, and some talk even about oneness, but I'm not understanding it. So, with all these questions, I slowly lost interest in religion. And I also lost interest in the other religions that I studied, because I somewhere saw everybody had some vested interest, and it was not very open what I was looking to.
Right.
And then when I came deeply into many aspects, and then I got married and all that, and then I received a big blow. That was my divorce. And that divorce was a major suffering. And I now know that suffering is grace, because that suffering brought me so much intensity pain. I was even like suicidal, and I wanted to finish myself and everything. Though I was drinking, smoking, and I was into all these kind of habits during and before that, very heavily, very heavily.
Wow.
It was like, 8 hours I used to be in that kind. And it went on for many years. Then the divorce brought me such a hopelessness and such a divideness. I just wanted to finish. There was no meaning in life. What's the meaning? Every day we get up and we're doing the same thing. And then while I was reading on some book, I fell in love with the text that I came was Swami Muktananda's. And then I came to know he's somewhere in Ganeshpuri, a part of Maharashtra. So I go there to try to meet him. And then I realized that he has left his body in the 80s. So I'm like very devastated. I don't know what to do. Then the auto guy tells me, you have come so far and you're standing here 1 kilometer is his guru's ashram. And that is when I go for the first time into the ashram of Bhagwan Nityananda. Yeah, Bhagwan Nityananda is. And I'll just share the picture in case,
Yes. I have been there.
You've been there? Wow.
Oh yeah, I have been there with my parent teacher Mohanji and Lakshmi Ma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they are there also there today.
Is that so? Now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we got the
Thank
seat.
you. Thank you so much. So he's Bhagwan Nityananda of Ganeshpuri. And when I enter, I have never seen him before. So I see this big belly person, dark person, a very ugly looking, not any fashionable kind of a saint. And I'm confused. Who's this? And I continue going inside, and then suddenly a strange peace comes in, and I'm able to settle down completely, And by the time I return from this trip, I'm seeing that, the whole pain that I have is just disappeared.
In fact, we have a cassette made by one of our meditators. His name is Mahendra Karkera. Okay, the funny part now, just see, so many things are happening as of he comes, and his father is a die-hard fan of Swami Nityanandaji.
Okay.
And he goes to in Ganeshpuri since childhood, father, and then obviously children go along, and he may be there also now. But anyway, he made one. He was to make one cassette on songs by Nityanandaji, on Nityanandaji, by my music mentor, Shri Ravi. Okay. Wow. So he chooses him and he goes to the studio, and this is about 20 years back, 25 years back. And he says, I'm making this audio CD on Nityanandaji, and this is like about 12 bhajans are there. And out of 1 or 2 bhajans, I had also given that, add this bhajan, like this. And then he makes it on Nityanandaji, it's there in Ganeshpuri. But I said, since you are making for Nityanandaji, same track mein Guruji ka bhi dalo na. So he said, yeah, because he's from near, he's making for there. He said, same track, only like Rishi Prabhakar hai, dharti par aaye. So it is actually original is Nityanandaji, dharti par aaye. So we just changed the words. The same track is available in Ganeshpuri, same track is available in Siddha Samadhi Yoga, and same songs. Since he was a meditator, a sponsor from this side, so he could sponsor both the things. So very much connected.
Yeah, they're all one only.
Yeah.
In one term, if you see on a higher dimension, they're all one only. They absolutely no difference. So that is what I was trying to tell you, in all these experiences. Then after me coming back, I met my Gurudev, and then I come to know his Guru is Nityananda. And then I've been journeying with my Guru for 7 years. I was there in his ashram, serving him and all that. And that is where I truly got this glimpse of the mystics, which I talk about. These avadhutas, these saints, what we know is we do not know them. So I had a chance of seeing something beyond a certain dimension that we know. The first I started experimenting was with my Guru itself, and then I was observing some very miraculous kind of things happening and all that. So he was a great healer, and he was very humble. He never showed off all those things and all, but he always loved to talk about Christ to me. So when I became more open, he made me sit down one day, and then he started revealing baffling truths about Jesus Christ and how his gurus had come across Jesus Christ in Rajasthan, Aravali, and how Jesus had traveled there, and how Jesus got trained among all the Siddhas in the Himalayas, including Mahavata.
So you are talking about your Guru, Shivananji, was sharing these experiences with you?
Yes,
Okay.
because he was in direct contact with, during his sadhana, tapas time, that is 30-40 years back, he came across many great Siddhas and mystics who actually told him about Yesunath. So
Okay.
Jesus was known as Yesunath in India. So now if you see Yesunath, that is a Nath Sampradaya.
Right.
Of Gorakshanath Machendranath. It's a Nath Sampradaya. So they already told he's related with Yesunath. And here also in India also he's known, in Kerala also he's known as Yesunath.
Right.
So baffling truths my Guru told about Jesus Christ. And then what happened was, since your question is all about the oneness and diversity, and exactly this thing happened, because I knew there is some past life, future life, but how do I know which life and all that? And then strangely what happened was, once in 2016, I found myself singing Sufi songs suddenly. Affinity towards Sufi songs, always listening to Qawwalis and all the great mystics there, and Peers and Fakirs and all that. I physically got attracted to them whenever I see them on the road. Then every Sunday I used to go to Ramakrishna Mission. Now I stopped that and then started going to Hasrat Nizamuddin Dargah. So every Sunday in Delhi, I used to sit in Sunday listening to the Qawwali of the great mystics there. Amir Khusraw.
Oh, yes.
Amir Khusraw is the father of Qawwali, and Amir Khusraw is the first disciple of Hazrat Nizamuddin. So दोनों का कब्र अगर आप देखेंगे हजरत निजामुद्दीन में, दोनों का कब्र एक के side by side है, गुरु शिष्य का. So I used to sit there and listen to the Qawwalis and all that.
In fact, lot of the bandishes have this Amir Khusro and Nizamuddin.
Exactly.
Lot of the bandishes have this inbuilt. Like
Exactly.
I have been learning music for 25 years. So a lot of the bandishes we sing that Nizamuddin, the word comes,
And Khwaja.
Khusro, the word comes. You know?
Khusro.
Yeah.
So they dedicate all that to their fathers, and even in Ajmer Sharif, I had a great experience at the tomb of Khwaja Garibun Nawaz. Very, very powerful. If you see, we call them as Muslim Hindu, but there are some saints like Shri M, for example.
Shri
In his book, he has written that his Guru Machendranath asked him to meet at a certain point. And where was that? In Khwaja, Ajmer Sharif. Ajmer Sharif Dargah, he asked him to call, Machendranath. And so he was shocked. Why is he calling me in the mosque? And then he told, they are not all different. They are all coming from the same forms.
Absolutely.
And this conviction I was not having, though I had read all this. So what happened was, one day I fell very badly sick. And it was Ramzan 2 days later. And suddenly I got a call from my seniors that we have to go to Rajasthan and shoot. I was in the video team and the creative team. So I was the video creative head there. So we planned to go, but I was unfortunately very sick. And I didn't know what to go and shoot there in Alwar, Rajasthan. We had a Gaushala and all that. So it was boring for me. And scorching heat. And my body had blisters and all that. And I had not eaten for 1 day. And then suddenly my Guru calls up on the WhatsApp. He's not in India. He's somewhere else taking some event. And he calls and he says, you have to go to Alwar. Now, I could not deny to him. I could not say I cannot go because he's my Guru and just Agya. I said, okay. Then I went to sleep. I told the team next morning we have to go. And then early morning when I got up, I was more sick. So I said, I'll die if I go there because I have not eaten. And if I go to Rajasthan, oily, tikha food, nahi ji paunga. Then I thought I'll go to the mobile and send the offline message. I didn't want to call him and said, tell my guru that, I cannot do it. I'm sick. When I take the mobile and go to send the message, a message has already been sent by him. Even if you die, you have to go. I was like, oh my God. Then I said, okay, now what to do? But I knew something is there when he said, that means he knows it. Then the team came and I was like literally sitting there, thin and almost devastated. And we reached Rajasthan again by noon and I could not eat again everything. I was wondering, all that oily stuff. Then he had asked to go to dargahs. I didn't know. And then I talked to my team and all. They said, okay, Ramzan is coming. Why don't we make some beautiful video of the dargahs? And let me go to a dargah. There was one good dargah there in Alwar. So when I went and met the Maulana, he asked me, where are you from? I said so and so. He said, okay, we know your guru. I said, how do you know him? He said, no, he supplies during Ramzan. He is the one who supplies fruits and all to all the mosques here. And hum roza kholte hain unke fruits se. I said, wow, I didn't know this. And he never told me. Then I told him I want to take your interview and some bites. He said, no problem, लेकिन अभी नमाज का वक्त हो रहा है. आप जरा आपके कैमरा टीम को बाहर जाने बोलिए क्योंकि ये कैमरा वगैरह अंदर अलाउड नहीं है, मैं बाहर ही करूंगा, तो वेट करना पड़ेगा. I said, okay, fine. Everybody went out. They shoot them. The Muslim guys are very cutter. They were wearing their caps and all that, and we were preparing barjo. But somehow nobody pushed me out. So I was sitting where the taps are and where they wash their hands and feet and all. Yeah. And my childhood memory came in front of me. Every time I used to go to my school, there is a mosque there. And I always wanted to go into the mosque and see what they do. Just curiosity. Yeah. Always. Suddenly that memory came into my mind. Oh, my dream has been fulfilled. And then I saw they just closed the door from inside. The Maulana also sat, all the people sat, and they began their namaz. Just as they began, I was seeing, where are they looking? There was nothing. There was one wall in front and no photos, nothing. So I had this idea because I was already practicing Advaita Sri Vidya. So I had this now. I was looking that, these people are worshipping nothing. The Nirguna Nirakara Shiva, what we call, without any guna, without any attributes, no form, nothing. They are just worshipping that. And it's so difficult for us, and they are worshipping nothing, no object. Right. So while I was doing that and sitting there, a strange sensation began in my feet, a vibration kind of thing. And then it began like a current and it passed through my body 2-3 times. And then I went into samadhi. I didn't know what happened. I was in deep samadhi, bliss, like 15-20 minutes their namaz was going. I didn't know what happened after that. Then when their namaz were open, they came to wash their hands and feet. Then I heard the noise and I woke up and Maulana said, come over, we'll come and shoot. Then I went to him and I had this shoot, this interview and all that. And then he suggested me to some more Maulanas and all. So we went, couple of mosques we took. Next day, Ramzan. All the Muslim guys there invited us to their home, surkuma, biryani, all that. And namaz humne wahan pe kiya. See, we are going from my guru's place, doing all this, singing Shiva songs and Ma Durga songs and all that. But there suddenly everything changed. And I am having the best of world. A Christian under a Hindu guru, now experiencing something like namaz and Ramzan. I said, wow, best of all the worlds. And then what happened was everything finished and we were returning back. We were on the highway from Rajasthan to Delhi and we had to stop for the lunch, dinner, 8 o'clock. So we ordered the food and suddenly my guru's phone came. So I picked the phone, I went out and I was talking to him. So he was, beta kaise ho? I said, I'm fine. And I was very excited. I said, today we had this and we shot that and we talked Maulana. I said, you never told, all these things you have been doing. And they were very happy. And they were saying, we should, as a Muslim community also, we should also do such thing. To bhaichara rahega. And I said, beautiful bites we have got. He was only laughing. He was not talking. He was laughing on that. And then he quietly asked, Tumhari bimari kaisi hai? And that is the first moment I stopped for a moment and started to think about. I was completely healed. And I looked at my blisters and then I said, Babaji, I even ate kachori, samosa. I didn't even know. And I ate all that oily stuff which I could not eat. And he was laughing and laughing and laughing. So then I was tearful. I said, I don't know what happened. then he reminded me, you didn't tell me what happened in the mosque. I said, yeah, there was a kind of electricity kind of an experience. And then I don't know, I went into Samadhi. He said, you were healed there.
Wow.
I said, is it?
Wow.
Then he said, I knew तुम्हारा ये जो इतने दिन से चल रहा था बीमारी, तुम्हारा हीलिंग उधर ही होगा, इसलिए मैंने तुमको दरगाह भेजा. I said, why ना दरगाह? He said, देखो बेटा ऐसा है, एक जन्म में तुम मुस्लिम थे, and you were very cutter, strong Islamist, but you had not given completion to it. Some of your samskaras were still there, and that you took birth in a Christian family. This he did not mention, but in the previous some incident he had told, whichever religion you criticize, whichever religion you hate, and you have vengeance or some kind of a negative attitude towards them, and calling them, this is not right, only my religion or my faith is right, they are not good, and they are all imposters and all. If we have this kind of an attitude, my guru had told in some other session, what happens is that kind of a sanskara is developed inside, a kind of hatred, which is not the truth. Because in Islam also, there have been people who are enlightened and got moksha. In Christianity also there are. Hinduism also there are. Buddhism, Jainism, all the isms there are. People who have got enlightened and got liberated also. So he used to always say, every path has it. But you are in some path, you cannot realize it because you have not been in their shoes. So whenever we criticize any other religion, what happens is that deep sanskara is formed, and then what happens is you are given by nature, the cosmic intelligence, birth in such a religion which you have criticized to let you know, to prove it to you that what you are believing is not right. Even you can be there.
In fact, that Jacob, it comes to, I mean, in every meditation of Guruji, he had lots of these online satsangs at that time. And he would end it with meditation. In every meditation, our standard thing by Guruji is, you are this must be, should be, right, wrong, good, bad. He would go after that. Your must be, should be, I am a father, drop it. I'm a mother, full. And he actually, in his word, quote Guruji, this following, he would always say, don't follow Jesus. Now, okay? Don't follow Muhammad. Don't follow Krishna. Then everyone will get like, what is he saying? He's saying, be the Jesus.
Wow.
Be the Muhammad. Be the Krishna. Don't follow. And then he would say this should be, must be, all nonsense. All he would use the word crap. All crap. Crap.
Really? Perfect.
The intellect, if it is identified with something, then it's all crap. So 2-3 days back only, I made everyone hear his talk, and I was translating in Hindi the same words, like this. So now I would like to know from you that you talked so much about your guru. So what is your idea of Guru Tattva? Because that we always Guruji say, follow. What do you say? Be with a living master. That is what I always 24/7 saying this only. And a lot of people say, no, Krishna is my guru, this one is my guru. They may be living master. Surrender to living master. That way I would always say, we were fortunate, we spent 25 years with Guruji. So what's your idea?
Yes, it's very much same. There was a time when I was completely attached to my guru, the physical guru, and he knew it. He knew that was creating a weakness in me. So whenever I tried to cling on to him, I went close to him. He used to give me a punishment, not directly. He used to put me somewhere, 500 miles away, and give me some task where I couldn't meet him for 1 hour, 1 month or 2 months. And that created so much of despondency in me. I was like, he's so unmerciful and all that, but he was doing it with a purpose, and he never told me this. I realized only by the end of my tenure with him. And by the time he was planning to pull off from his task. Right now he's not active. His son is active. So he was already planning on that verge. And in fact, when I came this side, my guru went that side. That was the end of our activity in that zone. So during that time, what happened is I got the identity as Jacob Shivanand. If you even Google now or see, there is a very popular platform there, and my Google, YouTube platforms, very popular it became with the name Jacob Shivanand. So I was most known by Jacob Shivanand. Then what happened was when my guru went his way and I came my way, physically, we had stopped. He had stopped his physical activity. But he used to always tell Guru is not Sharira. Guru Tattva hai, Sharir nahi hai. He used to always tell that. And then I came to know what I'm trying to cling on is his personality, is his identity, is the body, is his name, or whatever, that form. And he was dead against that. He didn't want me to, because he said, he used to always say, if you're clinging on to your guru, who's a physical body, the moment the physical body drops, you'll be devastated. Because all that you know with the guru is just that. You have never seen his consciousness. So he used to always say, Guru Tattva ke saath judo, Tattva ke saath judo. He used to always do that. And fortunately, because of all that practice of him keeping me away all the time, I slowly went away from that, that kind of a strong pull that I had towards him, my attachment towards him.
Yeah.
And then after he went, then I saw the Tattva is still beautiful. I mean, we are not talking, we are not in communication like what we were before, but something had overpowered me. And I saw what I talk, what I do, even right now, I don't take any credit for it. It's his Tattva. And all that I need to do is just being aligned with it. And rest all he does. So then I saw the light. Pardon?
So Jacob, I would always say, yes, absolutely what you're saying. But living master is there required. What Guruji would say that someone is there. When we say we surrender to obviously to the universe.
Yeah.
But why are the guru? Because the guru is there to kick you. You know that surrender what? I mean, surrender means what is our identification.
Right.
Then who is to point and who is to trigger and who is to pin the identification
Right,
is the
right.
guru. Like he will make you like, he'll send you 2,000, you'll get frustrated. That's the ahankar coming. That's the ego coming. So who is to do that? We need one person in entire 8 billion people to pin us. And yet you say, okay, I don't understand, but I'll yet, like you said, exactly why I asked you was, you said, even if you die, go there. So yet you went there in spite of you not wanting to go there. Your being is saying, I don't want to go there, but Guru says you go there, you do this. And then you find the results later on, or you may not even find the results sometimes.
Right.
Yet you follow him or her because at least 1 in 800 crore people, you can surrender to one person. It's not about surrendering to the person. It is about surrendering that part of your identification.
Surrender of the ego.
It's about surrendering the ego. So you have some person as a representation so that the body gets the proof that you have surrendered. Surrender means basically to the universe only, but the channel is there, So that people don't understand. They say everyone wants freedom. Everyone wants to live in freedom. I said Rag is also wanting, I'm coming in freedom only, but Rag is of 5 notes or 6 notes. Freedom within boundaries.
Okay, the tones you're telling. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And in my journey, I've seen that also. I've come across many, including myself. I saw my journey being transitioned in a period because some people don't even have a guru. Some have a master. Some don't need anything. So I used to be confused. Why is this? When I went to Ramana Maharishi's teachings and I had all these questions, everything was very spontaneously made. Because Ramana always said, you, the self and the guru are not different at all. But to realize that, it will take some time. So to come to a state of effortlessness, in the start, there is an effort. So it depends on who's standing on which part of the journey. So there are people who need guides, protectors, who need masters, who need the one who can show them the path physically, actually teaching them. And there are some who have gone beyond that, who are in state of consciousness.
So Jacob, even those who have gone beyond that, if you ask them, they had it in the previous.
They had it. Yes, it's
so
a
they
ladder.
have worked towards there and
yes.
space,
See, when people asked Ramana also, you don't have a guru, and what are you saying this? He said, I don't have a guru in this janma, but I had. It is a progression.
Absolutely.
So you don't know my past, so you won't know, he said. So everybody is on different stages of journey. So there is nothing that it's not there. Everything is needed. Everything is needed. So over a period, because I was with my master and I saw that he was only there to bash the ego. Absolutely. So they're there till that identity is very strong. Yeah. But once they find it dissolving and once they find that, okay, now I need to pull back. Right. And this guy doesn't need my stick all the time, Now through just my look is enough to correct him.
Right.
And still there is physical presence.
Hmm.
And then a certain time comes when you're so connected with the consciousness only impacts you. Even if you're not on the right track or something, the consciousness hits you.
No, and what happens? He or she, whoever
Yeah.
it is, they want you to be free.
Exactly.
Like I also say that the disciple can never say, I am free. The guru can say you are free.
You are free.
Okay. Then the other way, that disciple has to proclaim, okay, that he is my or she is my guru. Okay. The guru can never say, I am your
I'm your guru. Never will
yeah,
say.
because then that guruship, then that is
It's
his
gone.
or her identification.
As you said, Manoj, it's very perfectly right that every guru wants their disciple to become free, never to cling on to them.
Absolutely.
They want them to be completely, and that is their work. So
Right.
when that is done, I am telling you, the kind of contentment they have, it's unimaginable, because it's like pushing, it's like liberating people. So they are not bothered with one. You're done, okay, go. I got the next one. Let me do this. So
Right.
I saw that, because when I thought, oh, why is he now pushing me ahead, and why some other people? It's not like that. He's, with the batch, when he's done with, he's like, you go. Now there are people who need my stick, and
We'll continue and we'll start on the journey of Avadhutas, your experience with Avadhutas and whatever you want to share. Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay, I got
yeah,
it.
thank you.
So your experience with Avadhutas and as many as you met, short and sweet, the so-called miracles or the amazing things, just like how you got healed. What is your experience with them, realizations from them? You can share. Yeah.
Sure, Manoj. Actually, the experiences are so much and so diversified. I cannot, if I go into, there are so many Avadhutas, all these 20 years I've been with or met them or saw some mysterious things happening with almost every Avadhuta, some or the other, which, nobody will believe even if I tell, it's that kind.
But
So
let's
what I do,
let's hear what they don't believe. Then you give the science later on. After that, first just give them that this happened, because all the most of the audience here will they will believe, but they will want to know the other part also. Yeah.
Yes, I have my websites and all that, so I can definitely share things there. In the end, I'll share that, so that people can look into, only dedicated to Avadhuts and mystics and the stories and things that happened and how I traveled. All those things are there. But briefly, as Manoj said, since many Avadhutas I've been meeting all these times, the first my craving and my passion began with visiting Jiva Samadhis. So I was very fascinated towards Jiva Samadhis, and I didn't know for what reason. So I found myself continuously visiting hundreds of these Jiva Samadhis all throughout Tamil Nadu, and I began studying on what are the Jiva Samadhis. And then later on, I came to know it's the science of the Avadhutas, the science of Siddhas. It's not something hearsay or something like that, not superstition, nothing. It is completely scientific, whatever they do, including even levitation, be it levitation, or be it even disappearing into thin air, or manifesting something out of thin air, or leaving their bodies and turning into light, which Jesus did, which Saint Tukaram did. But we do not know. There are mythological stories that Tukaram from Vaikunta vehicle came and took him. It's all symbolic, it's all mythological. But what happened is actually he disappeared into the Akash Tattva. We know there are 5 elements, great elements, the Mahapanchabhutas, the Prithvi Tattva, the Agni Tattva, the Jala Tattva, the Vayu Tattva, and the Akash Tattva. So once somebody has mastery over these tattvas, they dominate these tattvas. That is what is called as Siddhi, power. From the word Siddhi came Siddhas, words, the ones who has this mastery. So basic, there are 8 Ashta Siddhis, 8 master Siddhis. So all the Siddhas are the ones who have mastered all the 8. So it's you can research all what the 8 things are. But to tell you, if somebody has mastery over Prithvi Tattva, means they have complete, because the body is made out of Prithvi Tattva. They have complete mastery over the body. They can do anything with this body, including teleport, move from one place, including with the body, or they can make this body disappear. Like in Autobiography of Yogi, if you can see the incident where Yukteswar Giri Maharaj, the guru of Paramanand Yogamsa, Yoganand Paramahamsa, appears after death, and he's shocked. How is this possible? And his guru says, it's me. And he has a physical touch. And then he even gets the smell of the guru when he was in the body. And then he explains, Yukteswar Giri explains how the science of this materializing and dematerializing happens. Exactly same when Jesus rose from the dead on the third day, they say, he appeared first to his foremost disciple, Saint Thomas. And Saint Thomas said, here is a ghost, and he was running away. It's a devil or something. And Jesus said, no, I'm in body and spirit. Here, touch my wounds. And he took his hand and touched his wound. And he was baffled. How is this possible? So in Christianity, all this is not explained. So most of the Christians just want belief. And many feel it is some mythology. But today when I study the Siddhas and all carefully, they are all scientists. They knew how to dematerialize. Because see, it's based on atomic configuration. Everything we all know, it's all energy. Nothing is just absolute nothing. Even if I take the cell phone, it is energy. And science can prove it today. Because everything has an atomic configuration. The way the atoms are designed and the way they move around in a certain way, that determines the shape of that particular thing. Like for example, H is hydrogen. And O is oxygen. We all know it's gas. And gas cannot be seen. Oxygen cannot be seen. Hydrogen cannot be seen. So it is still here. It is right now in front of my face, in front of your face, but you cannot determine where it is. So we say it doesn't exist, but science knows it does exist. Now, how does science know? If you go into chemistry and if you see how science does experiments, like they take 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen, and when they combine these 2 gases, what turns? H2O, it becomes water. So if you prove it in the laboratory, by using 2 molecules and it's gas. You're combining 2 gas, you cannot see it. So scientists know it is gas. But suddenly water comes out. So it can be a magic. People can say it's magic. Out of nothing, water came out. But the scientist knows. He has only changed the atomic configuration. Now the Siddhas are masters of this. We have not yet reached, the humanity has not reached that stage. But these people are much advanced, this civilization. So what they do is they attain through their tapas and through their various purifying activities, they reach that state where the Prithvi Tattva, the Jala Tattva, Vayu Tattva, Agni Tattva, and the Akash Tattva is all purified. So let's say somebody has now Siddhi or mastery over their Muladhara Chakra. Muladhara Chakra is your Prithvi Tattva, your earth element. So somebody has mastery over that, then that person can live even under the ground. He won't suffocate, because now that Prithvi becomes his friend. He's one with it. He's one with that tattva. So that tattva will not harm the same tattva. Like water cannot affect water. Soil cannot affect soil. Fire cannot affect fire, because it's the same tattva. So this person has become Prithvi. More mastery, he has become Jala. These are the same saints and yogis who enter underwater and stay in samadhi for years together. Years together. Underwater. And if they want to leave their body, they don't just leave it. They take Jala Samadhi. In the water, they leave their body. So people find it very painful. It's not. They have mastery. Water cannot affect water. So it's nothing about breath there. Somebody who has over Agni Tattva, they walk into fire and nothing happens. You Google or find in
Ganapati Sachidanand.
Yes. These are all masters.
He has mastered the fire element and he walks Ram Mantra. So, but Jacob, yes, definitely what you say is true beautifully. Now, you just, have you met recently, maybe last year, someone, and you tell their experiences? If you can give the names also, it'd be wonderful. And,
I can name many, because
so you share those amazing or miracles, so-called miracles, which people the eyes should come out,
There is one example that I would like to give about the longevity, the immortality of these great masters. Because we believe, 80, 90, 100 and 110 we rejoice. Somebody is alive for 120 years. It's a big celebration for humanity. And then we have Siddhas who have lived for 2,500 years, 5,000 years. You see Agastya Mahamuni, you see Tirumalarji. Look at their this, the age is thousands. It goes in Patanjali. Maharishi Patanjali lived for 2000 to 3000 years.
Even
Nobody-
Mahavatar Babaji.
No,
Mahavatar.
Mahavatar Babaji is not in that. He comes in a different stature. I can explain that how it is.
Okay.
Because these siddhas are there. They have siddhis. Siddhis means they can elongate. They can expand their life. Life means the body doesn't decay. Now, one example you can see whenever Jiva Samadhis are there. Now, these people whom I said, they who have somebody who has power over their Agni has command over it. Somebody over Vayu, air will not affect them. They can levitate. They can float. All those great siddhas you read and see, they were floating. They flew around. And the Vayuputra Hanuman. What is Vayuputra? It is not a mysticism. Vayuputra means he is a son of Vayu. Means he has mastered that element. So he can fly. That's why Hanuman flies. And somebody who goes to higher, the Akash Tattva, that is the highest. Now, when you talk about Mahavatar Babaji, these are people who are working with the Akash Tattva. Akash Tattva means they just dissolve. They just dissolve into this space. That means they dissolve in the sense they have not finished their so-called identity also. That consciousness is still there. But it's just like, दूध में पानी जैसा. Or air में there is hydrogen, oxygen, everything is there. So let's say Mahavatar Babaji is oxygen. Now, if he has to manifest, he has to change the atomic configuration of that oxygen. Like, for example, I said H2O. So when he combines with something, the appearance happens. That is how they appear and they disappear. These are rare, very rare beings like Mahavatar Babaji. There is even Ramalinga Swami, if you want, you can study. Vallallar is known in the south. I've been to his place in Vadalur, near Pondicherry. This is there, where he turned into light. And this was even broadcasted in the newspapers those days, Britishers' days. And nobody knows how. So when I was studying deeply into this, a lot of things got revealed to me, not just in documents, but through consciousness, through meditation, through experiences. One example that I would like to give is in a place called Murthal, Haryana. In Delhi, I was missing because almost 8-9 months I was out from south, and here I was to continuously travel to all the Siddhas and Avadhut. There I was not able to. So almost 1 year I was missing these Avadhutas and Jiva Samadhis. So one day I was sitting in my room there in the ashram in Delhi and just connecting to these divine beings, because I was so connected to all these Jiva Samadhis. I just remembered them and I called them Father, missing you. And suddenly there was goosebumps in my, the sweating happened and tears were flowing. I don't know what. And same time, one of my colleague came and said, tomorrow is Sunday, let's go to Murthal. There's a dhaba. There's a very famous dhaba. Let's go there. So I said, I don't have interest. He said, come. He said, no, we are going to eat. I said, you guys are only about eating. Then they said, okay, you come, we'll go to an Osho ashram. There is an Osho ashram there in Murthal. So thinking that I'll be happy. So I joined them. And then these people had in the dhaba and everything. And then I was talking to the security guard there. I was keen to find out, Baba ka koi samadhi hai kya? Koi bhi Baba? He said, kaun sa Baba ka sahi? Bahut sare. I said, koi bhi. He said, samadhi matlab main wo samadhi nahi bol raha hu where they just pass on. I said, Jeeva Samadhi or Sajeev Samadhi. वो बोला हाँ वही बोल रहा हूँ. वो बोले सबसे नजदीक बाबा कल्लीनाथ का है, वहां जाओ. I said, where it is? They showed me Osho ashram se thode aage. So I was very excited. I wanted to go there. So we sat in the car and we were moving, and we were not able to find it. It was in a small village. And then what happens, I'm telling you, you won't believe. The car is going, we are 4 of us. An old man comes cycling from front, he is coming very slowly. So we stop the car and we say, Tau means father or grandfather. Where is this Jiva Samadhi of? He doesn't even talk, nothing. He just turns his cycle and starts pedaling in front of us. And we are thinking, how rude is that? Nobody is even bothering, and he's not even moving away. He's driving right in front of us. So this guy is honking. He is slowly driving. And we are just moving behind him, left, right, some small lanes. And then he goes, a wall is there. He goes and parks his bike there. And he goes inside. Doesn't even look back at us. And we are looking, what is this guy up to? We said, forget it. And then he said, we see a building here. Let's see what is inside. It looks like a temple. I go inside. And I go, and just as I enter, I see Baba Kallinath written there. I'm shocked. This person just guided us to this Jiva Samadhi. And I look at him, He just goes, there is a bandara going on, people are chopping vegetables. He still does not look at us. He parks his bikes and just goes and sits and he's cutting the vegetables. So I knew in my mind, this is not an ordinary man, but behaving to be. But still I went to the Samadhi. So everywhere in the Samadhi, we have this Shivalingas. There I go, nothing is there. Only a blank room. I say, where is the Samadhi? There, do railway ka patri laga hua hai. Then I sit down and I meditate. Very powerful. All heat in my body, coming in. I have no understanding what is this. I come out, my friends are not interested. They are not spiritual guys. So they are moving around there. So I come back near the car, outside the gate, and I'm waiting for my friends like this. And right in front of me, there is a rock, small rock. And an old man is sitting there. And with a turban, like, in Haryana, they tie like this. Dirty clothes, but yet neat. And up, and he has a beard, thin person. And he's some gutka or tambaku, something is rubbing in his hand. I'm looking at him. I thought he's a madman, literally. And then one boy comes from the cycle. He looks at him and he looks bewildered. He stops his cycle and slowly he comes, as if not wanting to disturb him. Very scared he was. So I am thinking this guy is going to rob that guy now, because he looked like a robber to me who came on the cycle. And he's going slowly near that person. And that person is not even lifting his head up. He is busy, as though meditating on something, literally. And I'm looking at these both. And then he comes slowly and tries to sit near him. Very scared. And then slowly touches his feet. The moment he touches his feet, I know this is some Mahatma. So I didn't want to lose that opportunity. I was always crazy. I leave my slippers there. I run towards that Baba, whoever is sitting there. And he is not even looking at him even after he touched. He's just sitting and doing this. And I come and stand in front of him. So he looks at me like this. And he does ishara karte aisa. Sit besides me. I said, nahi Baba, theek hai. Bahut bahut shukriya. Then again he says like this. But I am so overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. How can I sit beside him? I knew he's somebody. Then he does like this. He points, behind is the Samadhi. He does like this. I said, haan, jaake hai Baba, Samadhi. He did like this. Okay. And then he sat there. And he was again in his own world. And then this guy is also watching me, and this. By the time my friends come up, and they spoil the whole thing, because they see, oh, Jacob is standing there. Chalo, leave. Somebody is there. Let's go and see what he's done. They came with a very casual attitude, because they don't know about all this. The moment they came close to us, this person just got up, sprang on his feet, walked away that side, and went and sat on a higher rock. So I knew these guys had spoiled something, and I was a little upset. But what can be done? He went away again. So my friends also walked to the car, and this boy asked me, "Aap kaun hai? Kahan se aaye?" I said, "मैं दिल्ली से आया हूँ, गुड़गांव से, to be specific." तो बोले, "आप इनको कैसे जानते हैं?" मैं बोला, "मैं किसी को नहीं जानता यहाँ." फिर यहाँ कैसे आए? मैं बोला, "गूगल करके एक बार देखा था, यहाँ मुरथल में आने के बाद दावा हो ही नहीं सकता ऐसे." I said, ऐसे ही आया भाई, एक बार गूगल किया किसी ने. वो बोले, गूगल में कुछ है ही नहीं, ये बाबा का कुछ है ही नहीं कहीं नामो निशान. मैं बोला, वो एक सिक्योरिटी ने बोला था. उन्होंने बोला, नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. तो मैं बोला, फिर कैसा है? A young guy, maybe 20 years old. He told me, नहीं, बाबा ने आपको बुलाया. Now, generally people say all this, उन्होंने बुलाया, इन्होंने बुलाया. I said, okay, maybe, but why do you say so? He said, क्योंकि यहाँ आना है तो उनके परमिशन के बिना आप नहीं आ सकते हो. मैं बोला, अंदर तो कुछ भी नहीं है, समाधि भी नहीं है, 2 रेलवे की पटरी है. Then he told me, वो एक महापुरुष थे during those days, olden days. He used to be always like in a fit of anger, always. So one day he was very angry कि रेलवे की जो पटरी थी, he lifted with his own hand and he just पूरा उखाड़ दिया, पूरा लंबा पटरी. So he became very famous for that. And then when he passed away, they put the railway की पटरी, क्योंकि he just disappeared into air. They all saw him entering into his house, that house where I had gone to the Samadhi, and they said that is the last we saw of him, and then he just disappeared. So we don't have his Samadhi also, we don't have his body to create Samadhi. So we put that, railway, this. I said, it's so powerful, that place. And then he said, then I said, okay, that वो तो समझ में आया, लेकिन ये महात्मा कौन है? बोले, आप इनके बारे में नहीं जानते? मैं बोला, नहीं, किसी के बारे में नहीं जानता. वो बोले, ये आपको पता है? They say, people in our village say, he is the same person, reincarnated, and his age is 425 years old. This man whom we just met. Because मेरे father, उनके दादा भी बात करते थे इनके बारे में. और ये आज भी घूमते हैं. Very rarely he is seen somewhere here. And it is very auspicious if we see him, but he doesn't like anybody to come near to him because वो पत्थर फेंकते हैं या गाली देते हैं, कुछ मारते वारते करते हैं. तो everybody is scared of him. So I asked him, इसलिए आप डर रहे थे क्या? He said, yeah. कब क्या करते पता नहीं. मैं बोला मैं तो डर गया, मुझे तो पता नहीं था, नहीं तो पता नहीं क्या पढ़ती थी. वो बोले नहीं नहीं, उन्होंने बुलाया आपको, उन्होंने देखा आपने वो बिठा भी रहे थे, वो कभी नहीं करते ऐसे से. I was mystified of all these experiences. Then this guy convinced me that it was him only. So what happened is, when this guy told me this, I remembered another Avadhuta called Achar Baba in Kerala, whom I had met, because in front of him, he used to sit in the kachada, literally in the kachada, dirty smelling, foul smelling kachada. लोग आके उनको खाना देते थे, वो खाना नहीं खाते थे. एक दिन, 2 दिन बाद वो बिरयानी खाए, या एक हफ्ते का पुराना एप्पल खाया, rotten. Nothing used to happen to him. So basically, there was a transition that was going there, transaction, which we called karma. People somehow came to know that if he offers something, it's like, and if he took it, it was like he was taking their karma. He was taking their karma. So people came and lined up there. And when I met him, it was foul smell. But when I used to meditate, all the dirtiness used to go. And I used to connect with him and I used to look at him, so shabby, dirty, and tears used to flow. And I used to always ask him one question. They are sitting there, Baba, why are you doing this on this railway track in such a pitiable state? Why do you have to do this? You are such powerful. Why? I don't understand. And then an old man there calls me in Malayalam, come here. My mother tongue is Malayalam. So I ask him what? He asks, come, I'll tell you something. And he answers exactly the questions I have been answering this Avadhuta. I have been asking this Avadhuta. Not 1, 2, but 3, 4 in line he answered. So I was shocked. I went back to Belgaum. I have one Vijayanand Swami here. I told him about it. Then Vijayanand Swami said, that man did not talk to you. It was the Avadhuta who talked and answered you. So same way, that boy who came there, I realized that boy transferred all these messages exactly. Who's Baba Kallinath? This 425 years old. All this was orchestrated in such a manner that, because they don't speak, they don't use any language, but they speak through people. So I have documented this also. There's in my channel all this.
So a little bit on Jeev Samadhi and Sajiv Samadhi.
Jeev Samadhi and Sajiv Samadhi are the same. They describe it in 2 different ways. Jeev Samadhi means while they are alive, they leave their body. So they know precisely what date, what time, the hour, they know exactly. So most of the time what happens is, some of them who don't want any public this, they are living in the jungle. They just go and sit in a pit or something and take samadhi, or in an ice or underwater and take samadhi. But there are also saints, even in today's date, where they call their disciples, 10, 12 of them, and they give them instructions clearly. Start building this pit and I will sit on this in this date. And after so many hours or after so many days, you got to put a shivling on it. I mean, the moment he sits, they close up the pit. But he will still indicate, I will be alive. And after 2-3 days, you'll have to put the samadhi on that day, because that is the time I'll be entering into nirvana. So what happens to them is, the soil cannot affect their breath because they are beyond that breath. They don't breathe through the nostrils like we do. We breathe air. But in the air, there is also prana, which we do not know. Now, these people know the technique of separating the prana and the breath, the air, very clearly. जैसे दूध से पानी निकालना. परमहंस बोल के एक पंछी है. It's a bird, which is the only bird that can put its beak into the milk and suck out only the milk and leave the water there. That is why it is called Paramahamsa. That is why all the great mystics are given that title. So it is like these people know how to just take the prana, and prana is everywhere, even in the soil. So they don't get affected by breath. Breath stops, prana starts acting. So Jiva Samadhi means something where they can keep the body intact. So the science is, we all have Pancha Sharira, the 5 Sharira. We have the physical body, Annamaya Kosha. We have the etheric body, that is the Pranamaya Kosha. Then the Manomaya Kosha, Jnanamaya Kosha, and the Anandamaya Kosha. Now, when a human body, human beings, normal, ordinary person leaves their body, they only leave the physical body, the Annamaya Kosha. The rest, all the 5 bodies goes with them. The mind, the prana, isliye pran chode bolte hain, no? Prana also goes with them. The mind body goes with them. The emotional body, which has all the karmas, goes with them. And the bliss body, the soul, which is there. So the rest all goes. And depending on the contents of that koshas, they take new births, whatever the karmas are there, according to that.
So
Now an
what do you-
enlightened being
I
has
just,
cleansed it.
I'll just interrupt. What do you say about the other than this planet Earth, life beyond this planet?
Yeah, I'll do that. But I would
Yeah.
just like to complete the small
Right.
sentence here.
Right.
So when the Jiva Samadhi, the Siddhas or the Mahapurushas leave, they have mastery over all these 5 bodies and it's all purified. It doesn't exist for them. Literally doesn't exist. So it's like the Jnanamaya Sharira collapses into the mental body, the mind body dissolves. That is why they don't have mind. See these indications, see these words. Mindless people there. That is why they look like mad. All these avadhutas, they don't talk from the mind. They don't have identities. They just are spontaneous of what happens to them. So when all these shariras dissolve, only the prana is left. They leave the prana also. Along with the physical body, they leave the pranamaya kosha also. Now, prana is what keeps us alive, this body alive. The food that we eat, the water that we drink, the breath that we take, everything has got prana. So our system is so much perfect to take only the prana and drop the rest. Now this prana keeps us alive. That is why pran tyag diya bolte hain. Uska pran nikal gaya. So when pran nikal gaya, this body starts decaying. Dead body, corpse. In a few days or a few hours, it all gets rotten up. But in a Mahapurusha who has taken Mahasamadhi, Jiva Samadhi, they leave the Pranamaya Kosha also with that. That is why if you dig a Jiva Samadhi, even after hundreds of years, the body will be intact. I've seen such places, even in Rajasthan, in Haryana, there are saints where accidentally, after 800 years, they were digging the road for construction and they find blood oozing out suddenly, and then they dig and see it is the kapal. Then they dig further, they come to know there's a human being sitting there. And then by history, they come to know it is nothing but our great guru of such a lineage. We knew that he had taken Samadhi, we didn't know where. So here he's sitting and his body has not decayed for 800 years. So then they construct the Jiva Samadhi. And I've seen such places. All this is possible. So this is a Jiva Samadhi. So I was fascinated by some, I don't know what, hundreds of Jiva Samadhis I have been visiting and I've captured all on my websites and a lot of miracles happened. It's too deep to, no time to talk about that, too much deep. So you said about other realms.
Yeah, other realms.
There are multiple kind of realms. And like, for example, these beings, the Siddhas, who leave their body, they go to a loka called the Siddha Loka. So that is where the perfected being, and they are there, they do their sadhana, they are involved in a very different kind of this.
Yeah, that's what the Jain scripture says, Siddhalok.
Siddhalok, yeah. Because Jains don't worship God. They don't have God concept. They only worship the perfected being.
Right.
Buddhism and Jainism don't have God concept. They only, worship like Buddha and Mahavira. These are the beings who have perfected themselves to that God state. So they follow it is like what I'm following, the mystics only. Even I am very fascinated with the mystic because they are godlike. Right. Recently when Manoj, your call came, I was standing in front of Topiamma at that time. And I was in Yogi Ram Surat Kumar's his Samadhi. So when your call came, I always offered that day for some reason. It was not, and it was so embarrassing when the phone rang because everywhere it's like, strictly not. And then I just run out and I come to know it because I didn't have your number that time. And then I come to know it's your number. And you said we'll talk later, but I was insisting, can we talk now? Because I knew it for some good reason, if the call has to come there. And I was next to Topiamma that time. Then we had that conversation for some time and you told everything. Then I took her pictures also. I would like to share if you can see that picture. Yeah. Right when you were talking, it happened that time. See, if you look at her, what would you call her?
Yeah.
She's completely in rags, dirtiest of clothes.
Right.
This is how the avadhutas are. I have had very mystical experiences.
Right. So what do you have to say about her in terms of avadhuta? I mean, what did you notice? Other than the clothes, obviously what you shared is like she looks.
We have a very special kind of a relationship whenever I am there. I just stand and connect to her consciousness. So glad. See, this is the one I just took there. She was connected and we were having a beautiful conversation. That's what I do. I don't tell anybody this because she's in a mad state literally. But when you actually connect consciously to her, you can see her responding. She will begin talking. She will show gestures. She will show indication that she's conversing and all that. So with avadhutas, this is what I have always been doing. And it's a different experience. I cannot share because there are so many personal details that goes on for the conversations. But I used to do this. I used to teach people how to connect with the Guru Tattva. If anybody learns how to connect with your Guru Tattva, wherever he is in this universe, whether in the body or dissolved into the Tattvas, this same technique is applicable to all the Avadhutas because they are all on the same plane of consciousness. I have seen so many times when I'm communicating with an Avadhuta and my master has the same kind of message, or when I'm talking to my master, this person has the same kind. It's all the same level of consciousness.
Yeah, I had one experience a few weeks back,
Okay.
and I was sharing. We had gone to Bapaji, that is
Papaji,
yeah, Bapaji. they
of
call
Lucknow?
No, in Dharampur. He thousands and tens and thousands of people follow him, and he was doing the arti, and he told. In fact, I did not know. My eyes were closed. I was meditating, and then suddenly someone comes and touches me, and they said, "You have been called." And then called means thousands and thousands of people are there doing the darshan, called for the arti. So later on, I shared with him that I was in deep meditation. And when I did the arti, again tears started flowing. I don't know what happened, but I saw Guruji coming. I saw him coming, and both of them meeting, and I shared it with him thereafter. And I got, he just smiled. So these things happen, and I just wanted to tell everyone here is lot of these things what Jacob has been sharing, and sometimes I share not too much, but whenever I share, I see people. And I was the same about 5 years back.
I
6
was
years back,
also.
what nonsense is going on? And what the hell are they talking about? But I only a few years back, I started to earlier, if 6 years back, someone tell me, I will not say yes, and neither I will say no, because in my mind, I'll say, I just don't understand. So I'll leave it. So I will not negate it, but I will not even receive. But the more I started to believe, see, talk and share about it, the more these incidents are happening. And I have met Guruji n amount of times. I've seen him entering, and means almost a daily phenomena. Why? Because the more I spoke, the more I shared, more it happened. And I don't tell much to many people. Okay.
Yeah,
but those who understand, I do tell, like now,
Exactly.
because you are there and you are in the same, so I can speak to you openly. But I'm taking this opportunity to tell everyone else that the more you believe, the more you will see. The more you see, the more you will believe. The more you'll believe, the more you'll see. And this cycle goes on. And it
I would like to add,
the
more you believe, the more you'll start experiencing it.
Experience
is the conviction.
Absolutely. That was my one word missing, but yeah, experiencing, that was the right thing.
That's the conviction.
When experience is the best teacher, so start looking out for those experiences, start seeing it, start believing it, start experiencing it, and more. So now we take a little pause. We take a 1 minute pause for all your questions. You will be having a lot of questions. So we'll wait, because now you got an idea.
I would just like to add.
Yeah, but you add, we'll take 1 minute pause, because they'll write it down on the chat box. So we'll have lots of questions, and we'll see how many ever we can answer. And then of course you can complete what you want to say. Yeah.
I was saying, if people like to have this kind of experiences, whenever we meet, if it is possible, I can arrange for a session where we can actually get into the Guru Tattva and people can experience it there and then.
Right.
Because doing this is different. Talking philosophy is another, but giving an experience is another thing. So they can relate to whichever guru they are connected to, and have an inside deep experience right there itself.
No, so like I told you, Jacob, we'll have you come to the ashram. We'll have it together. We'll share.
Privilege.
Yeah.
Rishi Prabhakar ji ka ashram, and मैं क्या बोलूं?
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be in that holy land.